Well, hey there, neighbor. It's me, Angie. Come on in here. Now, I know you don't recognize this background because I'm actually in my bedroom filming this video. Now, I know that sounds strange, but for some reason, the hubby didn't get up and go hunting this morning. Now, it's cool here in Mississippi. Now, granted, it was 80-something yesterday, but still, he built a fire in the fireplace last night. He knew it was going to be cool. So anyway, I can't film where I normally film in the dining room. So I come back here to the bedroom to film, to talk to you all a minute. We have things we have to talk about. Now, I taped a video Friday, and it was 28 minutes long. And for some reason, I can't get it to upload on YouTube. I have no idea what happened. I mean, I've tried 3 times. So here we go again with take 1227. Okay, trying to get a video up so you all can know what's going on with me, and I can find out through the comments of what's going on with you. Okay, so here we go. Number 1, my neurology. I went to see my neurologist, and it was the funniest thing because my son-in-law he drove me to the visit, the doctor's appointment. So we get there, and she calls me back, and of course I'm on my scooter, okay? So we go through the doors to get to the little room where, they take your blood pressure, and of course they weigh you and temp and all that. So immediately I start saying, okay, here's the thing. I'm not getting on the scale. And she says, what? I said, I'm not getting on the scale. I said, all you need to do is open that medical file up, my chart, and just put the words fat, and then we'll move on, because you can look at me and tell I haven't lost any weight. So I'm not going to depress myself today, and I'm not getting on the scale. Well, I know a lot of you are saying you shouldn't let that bother you, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. I used to do that before I got on steroids. When I used to go to the gynecologist when I worked at the bank, the ladies and I got in a conversation one day, and I talked about how I wouldn't get on the scale when I went for my yearly checkup at the gynecologist. The female doctor will say. And that just blew their mind. Like, wait a minute, what? We have a choice? We don't have to get on the scale if we don't want to? I said, hey, what are they going to do? I mean, either they're going to see you or they're not going to see you. So from that moment on, a lot of those ladies knew, hey, if I don't want to be depressed when I go to the doctor, and nothing is written in stone that says I have to get on the scale. You can refuse. Refuse. It empowers you. It makes you feel like you're getting away with something. Because unbeknownst to me, my neurologist, Dr. Chandler, was not seeing another patient. She was actually in this other space over here where I couldn't see her. And she says, what are you doing? Are you trying to tell us what you are and are not going to do? And I said, yes, ma'am, I am. And if you don't mind, please give me that moment. I know I can't do that, but if you'll just give me that moment to believe that I could tell you what, I needed or not needed, I'd really appreciate it. We just kind of laughed. She was joking about it. So we go into her office, and I begin to tell her some of the things that has been going on with me, and that I really want to get off the steroid, that I need to taper off. She says, okay, we can go with that. And I tell her about a new thing that I've read on this Facebook group that I'm a member of, that are only sarcoidosis patients. And they talk about an infusion. So she looks that up, and she says, well, this is the same infusion that I give some of my MS patients, and it does work for the your neuro system. And I think we can do this. So let me check with your insurance and see if they'll cover it. And I don't see any reason why home health can't come to your house and give you this treatment. It's like an IV or something like that. She said, but I'll allow you to wean off, or if you want to wean off the steroid, it's going to take time, and we'll do that. So y'all cross your fingers that I can wean off this steroid and this new treatment after I'm going to start it in January. Because I really didn't want to if it was going to cause me to go into a relapse, I didn't want to do that before the holidays. I wanted my family to be here and everything be good. So after the first of the year, I'm going to try that new treatment. Okay, enough about doctor's office. Now, I know I spoke in another video about being a moderator on another channel, and the channel is Scrapping with Matt. It's this young teenage boy that dumpster dives. Real positive attitude, always upbeat. Go check him out. Anyway, I'm a moderator on his channel. I was really glad that I was asked to be. I've only moderated one time, which that means, when he goes live, over there in the chat where people turn blue and they have a wrench, they kind of monitor who's coming in, greet them, make sure there's no trolls there, put the person's PayPal link, encourage the person if they're dumpster diving, just kind of keep things flowing. Well, I'd only done that once. Well, now Matt's already had another live dive, which was last night, Saturday night, and I moderated that, which I think everything went pretty smooth. But he is having an auction on Tuesday night at 6 o'clock that is called Matt's Merry Marketplace Auction. So go check it out and buy something. I mean, we need to stand behind these young people today and encourage them to go down that positive road and not to do anything negative. I mean, him doing an auction at 15? I mean, the only thing I was worried about was getting my driver's license at 15. So go over there to his channel, Scrapping with Matt, and support him. Tuesday night, December the 14th, 6 p.m. Eastern. Okay, another thing. Now, when someone has an auction, they have to ship the items, right? I did not know that shipping cost was so high. I started looking into this, and the little box that just holds like a DVD, they call it a flat rate. Well, the flat rate is $9.20. And then it goes up from there. The next size is a shoebox. It goes up to 12 something. The next size is a little bigger than a shoebox. It's $22 and something. I can't believe that the prices have went up. So when you're watching a live auction and they do ask you for a little shipping cost, try to understand. If they didn't do that, they would lose money on their auction. Now, sometimes they can offer free shipping, but I don't see how they do it because the price of shipping is ridiculous. I mean, my husband goes up to the post office because I'm wanting to send out my Christmas cards and buys me a book of stamps. Now, the last time I was in the working world, which was about 3 years ago, full time, maybe 4 years ago, a book of stamps was maybe $8, maybe a little more than that. My husband comes back, it was $11.60, which I didn't mind because I wanted the stamps and I wanted to send my Christmas cards. But still, I mean, we don't get our mail now and the prices are going up. I mean, I was telling my husband the other day, if we had Pony Express, it'd be faster than what I get my mail today. And yet the prices just keep going up and up. And they're a federal institution, which that explains a lot, but we won't get into that on my channel. Because, Amazon, if they ship something, and I have free shipping with them, and you don't get your package within so many days, they say, go back to the website and we'll refund your money. And if you still get the package after that, you don't have to send it back. So I don't understand, which I know Amazon is a large corporation. Now don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But still, there should be things put in place with our postal service that they could do better. I don't have the whole story. I don't have their financial sheets. I don't know what's going on. That's just my opinion. I'm on the outside looking in. Okay, we covered the postage thing, the shipping thing. So let's just move on from there. Now, when I first started my channel, I still am this way. I wanted it to be something to my children and grandchildren in the future for when I wasn't here. Because with this autoimmune disease, if they don't get you in remission, the life expectancy is 5 to 7 years. I've already had it for 5 years. You do the math. Now, hold on. I'm not saying that something's gonna happen to me in 2 years, or whatever. I'm telling you that it could happen if they don't get me in remission. So saying that, I'm saying this to you. Life is too short. Now, some of these things that we think are uh, important, that we think we have to do or have to say, or we have to act a certain way, be a certain way. No, be real. Be who you are. Now, I've always thought the whole 54 years that I've been alive that I've been real, and I think I have. But when I worked at the bank, it was the strangest thing that I learned at 30 years old, because I went to work at the bank when I turned 30. These people would walk in and they would be just decked out, dressed to the hilt. I mean, just expensive clothes, shoes, paid all this money. They'd walk up to do some kind of banking transaction. And of course, we have to pull their account up and, help them out, which all that's private. You can't talk about outside the bank, and I never did. And you would pull their account up, and boy, you would think, how do these people sleep at night? They would be in so much debt. And then you would pull their credit, and they would be in credit card debt. But to the world, it looked like they lived in this fine house. They had 4 or 5 cars. They just had it made. They were just making money hand over foot, which in reality, they were not. They were just pretending to be something they were not. And I never wanted to do that. I wanted to be me. On the other hand, there'd be this little man that would come in, it looked like he was dressed like a farmer, overalls, a shirt that looked like he had for 30 years, work boots. He was just, and he had a smile on his face. He'd come up to the window. You'd pull his account up. This man was loaded, had lots of money, but he had worked hard his whole life to get to where he was. Never tried to act like he was somebody he wasn't. Never tried to be something he wasn't. Now, I can respect that. This man knew who he was. He knew he didn't have to impress anybody to know who he was as a person. And that's the way I want to be. I don't have to impress anybody. All I have to do is be me. And that's what I want to do, is be me. Now, it's not to say that I haven't had to learn a lot of lessons over the last 54 years. Because when I worked at the bank, I had to dress a certain way. I had to act a certain way to a certain extent, a professional manner. Like when somebody come in, I couldn't, country come to town. I couldn't be like that. I had to be professional. Now, there is a difference in that than trying to pretend you have hundreds of thousands of dollars and you don't have a pot to TT in or a window to throw it out of. But then you got this little old man that comes in there that has buku of money. Now be careful. And people will respect you if you'll just be you. And that's what I want people to, that's what I have come to understand. And I'm so glad I have. Because once you do that, the people in your life, they are there for the real you. And you've not pretended to be something that you wasn't. And that is the main thing that I am so glad that I've learned, among other things, in my life. Now, see, you don't know my life story. You don't know the things that I've been through. We don't know anybody else's life story. So when we meet someone, we shouldn't prejudge them. Even when we get to know them, we shouldn't attack them in any way. If we don't want to be around them, stop being around them. Doesn't mean you have to disrespect them, talk about them, be ugly to them. Just let them be who they are, and you be who you are, and you agree to disagree. Now, I don't know why I went down this road today about telling this story, but I'm so thankful for where I've gotten in my life. Now, I wake up sometimes thinking, how did I get in this wheelchair? How did I get this autoimmune disease? How did I become this disabled? But as far as my mental state and my personality and who I am, oh, it's intact. I have integrity. And I'm here to tell you that's the best feeling in the world, is when you can know that you have treated everybody with respect. Like I said, you don't have to like them, but just respect them and try to understand where they are in their life. Because you know what? Everybody's not on the same road, the same level, the same playing field. Yeah, we're all on different roads. So just meet that person where they are. It's amazing what you can learn from somebody when you do that. I have learned so many things. I mean, people used to come in the library that no one wanted to have anything to do with. I mean, their clothes wasn't look didn't look exactly the best. Their appearance, they may have had a disability, and people would just ignore them. Even the patrons inside the library. But me, that's the ones I would gravitate to, because I knew they had a story to tell. And I love to hear someone's story, because I can keep an open mind about it. And I want to be able to continue to do that. And I want my children and grandchildren to know that their mother and their Gigi had that kind of attitude. And I always try to keep a positive attitude, even though sometimes I'm in so much pain that I cannot even get up in the mornings. But I do. So let's leave it on a light note. Remember, you're valuable. You're worth something. You matter. What you do counts. Say to yourself every morning say those things every morning when you get up. And even if you don't believe it when you first start, over time you'll start believing it. And it's okay that you do. Because, our perception is our reality. So whatever we perceive, that's what our reality is. So just be nice to yourself. Be nice to others. And until we meet again, like, subscribe, comment, ring that bell, because I'll be back with more adventures. See you later, neighbor.